Howdy, Redesert Boy here. So while I was out at the range and with my Ruger LCRx right here, which is in 9mm, it's empty. And if you're not familiar with the LCRx, is a double action, single action revolver, and it holds 5 rounds, and it uses moon clips for the 9mm rounds. And I was doing some ammunition testing. I also did a video, which I'm not sure whether I'll release it before or after this one, but on talking about particular things you need to pay attention to with sometimes what they call bullet migration or crimp creep or so forth with using 9mm ammo, and why it's important to choose premium ammo and be aware of those things, and just some things to think about, and also share about a channel that I really enjoyed that got me thinking about that in looking at 9mm revolvers and Dr. Tactical. So anyway, let's look at the ammunition that I did test while I was doing those other tests, checking for those issues with the bullet migration or crimp creep or crimp jump, however you want to do it. What I was focusing in on these tests was just accuracy, basic accuracy. Now all these were 5 to 7 yards, okay? And so right up here, this was Hornady Critical Defense 115 grain FTX. I think most of you might be familiar with those rounds. They generally have let me pull some of these out here where I can get to them a little easier for this discussion. Coming back to the ammo, so I'm proceeding to knock over. Hornady FTX, and I have a marker on here for when I was doing the test. I marked it, which you'll see in the other video. This has 115 grain in this case, and it's got this little plastic insert they have there, which is supposed to help with preventing the bullet from interfering with how it expands and so forth. So with that 115 grain FTX self-defense, this was my grouping because I was only shooting 4 rounds as part of my other test. I was shooting 5 of them. So pretty good accuracy, and this is all 5 to 7 yards, as you can see here. There's my shooting. So next, I went to some Federal Punch, right? And the Federal Punch, make sure I get the right one here, is this bullet. And I went and I shot that one. It's a jacketed hollow point. 124 grain in this case. And the Federal Punch ammo I shot grouped up here pretty nicely, not bad at all. It's again 5 to 7 yards. Then I went to Federal HST, which is this bullet. Right, and I don't know if I showed you the other one. By the way, this was the Federal Punch, okay? This is the Federal HST. I know they look very similar, but they are a little bit different. And it was also 124 grains. And the results were, that was kind of a flyer on me, but the other ones were up here. So it shot pretty well too, and then I used Winchester Silvertip, which was a 147 grain bullet, right? And it had this grouping down here. Those were all some kind of self-defense, jacketed hollow point. In case of the Hornady, it was the Critical Defense FTX. A bullet that they liked. So then I went back and I said, well, let's try this Hornady Critical Defense FTX again, and this was my grouping right here. So, you know, for my purposes, you know, after doing that, and then of course I did the other test where I was checking for any bullet separation with them being in the moon clips and the revolver, and so as a result of that, you know, I could see that, you know, all the ammunition is fairly accurate. So it's a matter, I guess, of what your preferences are. Remember, I'm a hobbyist and enthusiast, and I was trying to figure out what will work best for me and my purposes. So I made a decision off of that, and you need to do, you know, make your own decisions about that. But, you know, that's why it's important to go out and try different kinds of ammo, not just your FMJ. Yes, I did shoot some FMJs. I shot some 124 grain blazer brass. I also shot some Fiocchi 115 grain. I think they call it CMJ or something like that. So I did shoot some other ammunition. I also was shooting at steel, you know, and they did well with that. But that's why, you know, going to the range is important. And then in the other video, it talks about some of the other tests you might want to do, carrying ACP or semi-automatic ammunition in a revolver. So hope you found that helpful. As Desert Boy always says, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye now.